going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are out on another auction adventure heading to Eaton Rapids, Michigan. This is our 5 auction in 2 weeks kind of run here. This is number 1 of those sales. This is actually a short notice auction. So what that means is there's actually a health issue in the family, and with the health issue they want to get rid of everything. My assuming it's some kind of pretty bad health issue. So yeah, the whole place is up for sale. They're doing a real estate auction as well as all the items inside. So from what I've seen from the pictures, a lot of beautiful furniture here. A lot of nice East Lake furniture, just beautiful oak furniture, a couple settees, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, a lot of really nice stuff here. I'm hoping for a lot more of the smaller antiques, glass kind of stuff, because I don't necessarily want to haul furniture today, but if I get a really good deal on it, I'll always come back and pick it up, I guess. But we'll see. Yeah, so it should be a fun one. It's about a 45-minute drive from my house. It stays within my hour range of these videos. Yeah, so pretty excited. It is a balmy 38 degrees here, mid-October in Michigan. It is cold. It is supposed to be really windy today. Ugh. So we'll see what kind of crowd it brings in. The fact that it was short notice, maybe you have a smaller crowd today, maybe get lucky on a few things. But the other 2 auctions I'm going to this week are very, very good. I'm really excited about those 2. This one, I'm not super confident in how much we're going to get here today, but you never know. So let's get into this. Let's get through that walkthrough, and I'll talk you guys through that. Man, I really love those voiceovers. I'm telling you guys, I love it. I think more than you guys do, because I can talk a lot more about what's there and what happened during the auction rather than doing it during the actual walkthrough. So yeah, let's get there, show you everything that's there, and hopefully we come home with a few things today, and we'll see how it goes. If not, I think I'm gonna stop by a few antique stores out here too, so maybe I'll get something from there and be able to show you guys that. So all right, we'll talk to you guys later, and hopefully wish us luck on getting something good. See you later.
All right, guys, we've seen these a lot of the auctions lately. Those signs up again. Most of them are selling for like $2 to $3 a piece. Like I said, I think he bought a large lot of these, and he's just trying to get rid of them at every auction. They're all about the same, but they always seem to sell anywhere from $2 to $5 a piece. We got some Christmas stuff coming up here. There was a lot of Christmas stuff at this sale. Not a lot of old Christmas stuff, more like your 80s to 90s Christmas stuff. We don't really sell too much of it, and the prices were actually going like it was vintage old Christmas, and that's just something I really can't deal with on that. So got to let that go. We went down towards the basement here. Like I said, with this estate auction, it was a lot of stuff that just really wasn't worthwhile. Those shutters we just seen there were really cool, but I wasn't out there for those. But everything else you guys will see in this basement is pretty much junk. I was kind of quick running through this. It was a lot of normal basement / garage items. They weren't really selling too many of it. As you can see, just piles of stuff on top of stuff. Mainly just showing you the decor of the house is pretty much what we're doing here in the basement, because there was really nothing down there that was worthwhile to bid on at all. So they were pretty quick about it, though. The auctioneer was in and out of there real fast because they weren't getting a lot of money. It was really cold. It was wet. They didn't want to be there long either. So we definitely blew through this pretty quick. So, but yeah, this was, like I said, I met the lady that had this auction, and you could tell it was a very fast, whatever's going on, it was very fast, whatever it was, health concern, because they didn't have a lot of the stuff, as you guys will see when I get in the house. They didn't have a lot of the stuff. They were still going through some stuff. They still had piles of stuff they were trying to get rid of. So, I mean, this ended up wanting to be a faster auction, you can tell, or faster, getting rid of stuff, you can tell. So yeah, that always feels bad. Like I said, you just never know what's going on in people's lives when they go to auctions. So that was just one of those things that kind of sucked. But yeah, like I said, down here, I know there was a washer and dryer that sold. I think they got $50 a piece for the washer and dryer. Just your typical estate auction. This wasn't one of those ones where we're at the expo center and it's all high-end quality antiques. This was just someone's collection of years. So it's like 40 to 50 years of having stuff. So, it's just one of those things you kind of just, you get the good, but you also get a lot of the bad. That just sits there. And there was a lot of stuff at this auction that just really wasn't interesting to me, but we did get some good stuff once I show you at the end here. But there we go. We can hop out of that basement and kind of get to some of the better stuff at this sale. A lot of yard tools, all those times go for like $2 to $10 every time. The mower went for 40. Again, if you guys care about this stuff, that really is not too antique-y. But you're going to get into here. There's more Christmas stuff up here. The auctioneer is not a fan of Christmas, is the only thing I could think of, because he was selling tables of this stuff. He wasn't even going box to box. It was literally tables of this Christmas stuff. And you were buying the whole table for one price. I don't know if he just wanted to get out of there or what. But again, there was nothing that we sell a lot of. A lot of wreaths. There was jingle dolls or bell dolls, I think they're called. There was a couple of tree toppers that were kind of cool. But again, when you're selling the whole table and it's going for 40 to 50 to $60, that's just way too much to spend for one or two items when the rest of them is going to be really hard to move. These are better left to somebody that's going to buy them and actually use them at their house, because we surely weren't going to be able to make a lot of money off of them. But like I said, I always try to get in there and show you guys everything that's there, though. So I think that was a candle. As, you guys won't be able to tell, but man, it was so cold. Usually if I was recording, you guys could hear it. There's just, the wind was crazy. It was just not an ideal day, but not going to stop me from going to an auction, that's for sure. But yeah, there's another one of those tree toppers I really liked. But again, selling as a whole lot, it really made it tough to just do that for one thing. That right there sold. I'll have that when I show the bit of the auction. It'll show selling that piece right there. Actually, that went for a pretty good amount of money. So this table, a lot of tools. Again, they were selling boxes of tools. I mean, if you ever need tools, go to a dang auction. Holy cow, you could get any tool you need. They were selling every tool. Most of the time, they were going for $5 to $15 a box. I mean, way better than you're going to go, find when you go to like a Menards. Used tools just as good as a new tool. But as you guys can see, it's just a lot of knick-knack stuff. Those yardsticks are always cool. We sell them for anywhere from $3 to $5 a piece. Again, they lotted it together with a bunch of other stuff. Just wasn't able to pay the money for it. This is some of the better items. The pitcher and bowl sets. Man, those used to sell like crazy, and now we can't get rid of them. So we never go after them anymore because, man, we just have a hard time selling them. You can get them for $5, $10 at these auctions all the time, but man, we just have a hard time moving them. I wasn't there for the license plate. I seen the guy that bought them, but I didn't get a chance to see what they sold for. I would assume in the high 70s, 80s would be my assumption. I was running stuff out to my car at that time because I was grabbing stuff. There was some crystal. Again, clear glass is just not a good seller, guys. The coffee grinder went for $35. The scales went for $70. Those were really nice pieces, just something I couldn't bid that high on. It just happens to be that way sometimes. The wood bowl went for $30. Those wood bowls are another thing that are really good too. Definitely something we always look for. Globes went for $15 a piece. We usually sell them for $20 to $30. Again, just too close. The umbrellas went crazy. I wish I would have showed a little more of those. Those umbrellas went super high. Some of those were going for $40 to $45 a piece, and you might see one of those at the end of this video as well. But those umbrellas were going crazy high. Now this silver, I made a mistake in just scrolling over that too fast, because some of these silver pieces were selling for $180 to $200 a piece. And again, I might have got in on that a little bit and got something I can show you guys at the end. But I wish I would have showed you guys a little better on those, because those went for really high, and that's something that's those are all plated silver. So I mean, it's nothing that was too crazy. But yeah, I wish I would have showed you guys a little more of those, because those were some pretty cool pieces. Coming up here, that deer, one of my vendors was at this auction, and she bought the deer. I would have bid higher, but again, I was just bidding her up, and it was going to end up in the store anyway. So she got it for $5. I would have loved to have paid $5 for it, and I definitely would have. And she probably wouldn't have bid against me, but I didn't. I knew what it was going to end up at the store anyway. So at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Rather than bidding up one of my vendors, I'd rather just let her have it. That box of tins right there sold for like $160. A lot of old tins in there. Old medicine tins were pretty cool. There was a Griswold bowl over a Griswold cast iron pan over there that sold for about $60. There was some good stuff. There was a couple good things, not all good things. Like I said, the auction only lasted about an hour and 45 minutes, so it really wasn't nothing too crazy. They went through pretty fast because the weather was pretty crappy out there. But there's a lot of hardware there that sold for fairly decent. I think it was around $15, $20 a box. Again, it's just. It just really, I know I got a lot of auctions coming up as well, so that's another thing I sit and look at too. Like, do I want to spend money on stuff that's a little less, not like the big splashy buys, knowing that I have other auctions coming up, a lot of other auctions coming up. Do I really want to spend that? So I kind of always toy with that as I'm bidding on stuff throughout the day as well. Those antlers, again, those are cool. Those sold for about $45. The antlers always sell. People to buy them to display them for some reason, but they also buy them to, for dog treats, dog chewable treats, I guess. My dog chews on antlers all the time. That's just what he does. But yeah, you'll see more Christmas stuff here. There's another one of those tree toppers. Amber always tells me look for the metal ones. Those were plastic, so I kind of let those go. But again, he sold the whole table. The whole table of Christmas he sold. It wasn't like he was selling individual stuff, so that made it a little tougher to go through. Those are those bead dolls I was talking about. There's a tree, and I know there's a doll coming up right there. You go. Bead doll? Yeah, that's what it's called. But yeah, they sold as a whole thing. I mean, I think it sold for $60 the whole table. Again, there's just not enough there to do anything with, and I know Amber wouldn't have kept a lot of that stuff because she goes for a little more of the older Christmas stuff, so. Yeah, go around here, and I think there's more Christmas stuff here, and again, he did. This is towards the end of the auction, and he sold the whole table. Again, nothing too crazy. These are like stitchery, stockings and tree skirts, all like typical 80s, 90s stuff that's just not very valuable. They're just not worth a lot, and we don't do enough with them for me to, go too crazy on spending a bunch of money on them. So I didn't even bid on any of these things. I kind of just sat back, and if they would have went cheap enough, into the $5 or less, then yeah, that would have interested me enough to bid on them. But they just, people were going a little high on them, which is understandable. The crowd wasn't very big today, so I know a lot of neighbors. I know that, but she must have been loved around the area because there's a lot of neighbors there bidding on stuff for her, which, it just helps out too because it gives her extra money as well, which is helpful and really cool of the neighbors to do. So, yeah, here comes some more tins, a couple yardsticks. Again, those sold for pretty much what I sell them for, so can't bid on those. Again, more Christmas stuff. It wasn't, like I said, 80s, 90s Christmas stuff just doesn't sell very well. As you go, that'll be a little more better look of those. The ornaments and stuff like that, just not the best sellers. That box was actually pretty decent. This one right here is actually pretty decent. Had a couple of the ornaments in there, but again, price was going about $40-$50, and that's just way more. If you remember that last auction I was just at in Portland, that one was, $25 a box for ornaments, and that's pretty much what those were going for. Yeah, I was caught talking to somebody right there. Those lard tins, I went up to $35 on the pair. We usually sell them for about $40-$45 a piece. So I was at $80, going down to $30-$35 just wasn't worth it to me. So I bowed out there. Those are some old, there's a matrimony thing, and then there's a death certificate. That's maybe not the word I'm looking for, but those are really cool. But those sold for about $80 to $90 a piece. Again, very big money on stuff like that just there's no way I can go that high. More tools coming up here. Again, nothing I bid on. Just kind of, mass stuff sometimes. It's just what it is. We will be heading inside here in a second. I can show you guys some of the really nice furniture because there's a lot of really nice furniture here that I liked. But again, there's other people there that like it just as much as I do. So it's tough to get everything you want when you're at an auction, but you just try your best. That's all you can do. So I think actually no, we do. We have to go back in the garage. The garage is not much to look at. Again, this is they had as you guys will see here. And I got to show you guys the view because the view is beautiful going up the lake. You're right on the lake, right in Michigan fall weather. You can't beat that view. Nice fishing back there, I'm sure. But yeah, that was a nice house that's going up for sale in Indian Rapids. As you guys will go through here, this whole our garage is pretty much full of books. Books. They were selling rows of books, and they couldn't get $2 for the whole row. So that right there is a history of Eaton or Ingham County, which is where I was at today. That book alone sold for about $40, but the rest of the books couldn't get $2. So yeah, somebody could have made out with books. I've gone down the book road before, and it is a tough road of books, is the best way to put that. They're just long and hard sells. I mean, unless you get the right books, you can sell for $7-8, but most of the time you're selling them for $1 or $2, and that's just too much of a hold for me to to make those, you know, to make those risks on bidding on those. So yeah, I kind of run through those pretty quick. A lot of war books, 70s, 80s, you know, kind of stuff like that. There was a couple in there that were okay, but man, I was parked far enough away. Do I really want to haul books? Don't think so. All right, let's head inside here real quick. The inside was rough. Like I said, as you guys can see here, like how it's all taped off. All that stuff she was keeping. So like I said, you can tell it was really last minute is what this was. But the pieces of furniture that did sell were nice. I did not get any furniture out of here, which I kind of, you know, I don't regret, obviously, but it's just tough. You know, it's because there's some nice pieces, because this is upstairs, if I remember right. Yeah, it is upstairs. And there was just so much stuff that I'd like to get it out of there and haul it down these flights of stairs because they were really windy stairs. I mean, I was just thinking like, yeah, I don't think so. It better be a real unique piece for me to buy because, yeah, it's very tight quarters as you guys can see here. And I just didn't really want to deal with that. You know, unless it was a really unique piece. But the house alone, I mean, auctions to me that I get to go into houses I love because you get to really see these old houses and every one is unique. And that's something you don't see much with these new houses nowadays. They're all made the same. And that's something I just can't get on board with. Like, I'm lucky enough we live in a house that's, you know, was the late 1800s, early 1900s, I think, and early 1900s. And it's just unique. No one's house looks like our house. And that's something I really, really treasure about where we live. But as you guys can see, the pieces of furniture were nice. There was a couple furniture people there that I know go to a lot of sales, and I knew they were gonna spend money, and they did because there was nice stuff there. And at the end of the day, you know, I know she does a lot of good stuff with furniture, so that worked out. But yeah, as you guys can see, just very ornate pieces. I mean, really, really nice pieces. I was actually really happy to see all those. I know there's a Christmas tree there, but it was not. I was hoping it was an aluminum Christmas tree. For Amber, but no, it was just a regular Christmas tree. Just a little 4-foot tree. Looks like it's never been open. I thought that was kind of cool, but I don't know if it was actually selling. The way they did the inside, it was kind of, didn't really feel like only the furniture was selling and that was it, because whatever had a blue piece of tape on it was selling. Everything else wasn't. So a lot of the stuff I was showing you, I didn't know at the time, was not selling. It was only the stuff with blue tape on it. So... But yeah, I think I'm going downstairs here. These stairs were scary as hell. Excuse my language, but yeah, it was. Those were the steepest stairs I've been down in a long time. These are how my old stairs at my mom and dad's house used to be, because it feels like you're looking at a camera taking the wrong step. You could have took a fall. So, but yeah, let's go into more furniture. But as you guys can see here, like I said, very tight quarters. And as you see the camera down most of the time because I don't like getting people's face on if they don't want to be on. But yeah, like I said, a lot of nice pieces there. That was a decent piece, but just look at, there's so much stuff. Like I said, it was such a late auction, and look at all this stuff. I mean, it's so tough to, you know, get through all this stuff because they were still going through stuff, which makes it tough. I tried to get some of the house. This thing was really cool. I did not get to see what this, the settee right there, that went for over $100. Again, I was really interested in that, but again, you can't pay that much. It was going too high. But look at this little fireplace here. This thing was gorgeous. That thing was amazing. Again, I didn't hang around to see what that sold for. I left just at the end. After I didn't win the settee, I kind of bailed so I didn't beat the crowd to pay off my bill for the day. So yeah, I didn't get to see what that sold for, but that was a really cool piece, I thought. Yeah, I said, we'll wait and see and go through here. I said, this was kind of waiting on a few people to get out of my way because, like I said, as you guys can see here, there was just not a lot of room to go through. So, but yeah, let's go check out the little preview of the auction here.
I got $700. All the guys $700. $7.5. No, $800 go. $7.5. No, $8.5. $8.5. $8.5. All the guys $800. I got $800. I need $8.5. All the guys $800. Now 9. And $900 go. 9 to 9. And 9.5. 9.5. One more time. 9.5. 9.5. One more time. 9.5. I got $900. No, 9.5. All the guys $900. 9.5. All the guys $900. 9.5. Sold at $900 right there. $891.
All right, guys, auction is all done. I am back home recording on my own today, so I have to deal with me a little bit here. We did okay at the auction. Not a lot of stuff there. As I was talking about when we went through, not a lot of great stuff for us, but we did get a few things that I thought were really cool. So let's show you what we got today.
First thing we did end up getting, we did get one of the silver pieces. This is what's called a tipping teapot. So you obviously go through, and this is silver, very nice piece. We paid $7.50 for it. I'm thinking we're going to be able to get a good probably 35 bucks out of that guy. All right, next up here, we got, if I can open it as well as show you guys. How bad can I be? Well, like I said, wish I could open it for you, but this is a nice little umbrella here. We paid $4.50 for it. Most likely going to get about $15 for the umbrella. All right, so here we go up here. We got six Hoosier jars. So we got the coffee. We get all coffee ones? Maybe we did. I don't know. Like I said, they're all the ones that go inside your Hoosier cabinet. I really didn't like what they did. They sold the Hoosier cabinet in pieces. So they sold all the jars and all the attachments. And as you guys will see down here, I also got the flour bin as well. Didn't get the Hoosier. Hoosier went for $2.50, like I talked about before. A little too much money than what I could spend for it. But yeah, like I said, we did okay. The jars, we paid $35 for all 6 jars. Most likely going to get about $35 a piece out of those jars. So we're going to get about $200 for those jars. So we did really well there. The flour bin, I'm not sure yet. Probably about $15, $20 we'll be able to get on that. We paid $2 for that. So we did really good today. So adding everything up, you're probably looking at about $250, $275 total profit. And we only spent about $35. We spent about $49 today. So a lot of profit we made today. A lot of good times. Cold, rainy. It was nasty here in Michigan, as you guys can see. I'm all bundled up. So yeah, guys, that was our auction today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, this is just number 1 on 5 coming up in the next 2 weeks. So there's gonna be a lot of auction adventure videos coming out. So stay tuned for those. If you guys want to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that great stuff. Thank you guys all so much for watching. And when you get some time, come out and see us and get your antique fix on M66. See you guys later.